Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Magus deck profile for premium format 2019. Wanted to do an update to the deck since the release of the Miyagi Academy CF Club booster pack. It's received a lot of support in the form of Magus support in standard format that I thought would work really well with just the premium cards we had for Magus Oracle Think Tank in total, mixing around the strides and just a little bit of the support from the actual deck itself, since it has a good amount of grade 1s, 2s, and 3s that just complement the deck very well. But I decided to switch around some numbers just for some other cards that definitely do help for just striding in general. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the G-Zone, I decided to go with one who views the planet globe Magus. During your turn, if you have a heart with Magus in its card name, you may look at the top card of your deck and put it on the top of your deck. You can look at this at the top card whenever you wish, so you can even look at it in between drive checks, so you can know if you have other triggers coming before you decide to distribute the power and effects of the trigger to other units on the field. So very strong stride for that, since we basically have all grade 3 Magus in the deck. I was debating how many numbers I wanted to run. I used to run 4, but that was way too many when I kind of wanted to focus on some of the other better strides in the G-Zone. I might even bump her down to 1 if I were to add an additional G-Guard into my lineup and have 5 instead of the 4 I run in the deck, but that's really up to the player preference at that point with the deck, so if you wanted to. Otherwise, you can keep this card at 2 in the deck. And I have 2 Stillwater Ichikishima. I do want this to be at 4, and if I were to run 4, I would take out 2 of the next card, which I'll show. This one just stops your opponent by having some pretty strong guard restrictions against G-Guardians and grade 0s, and easy draw power as well, both being a once per turn. So just being able to limit your opponent for all your attacks, especially with this deck and the numbers you can reach with a lot of your cards, and the bumped up triggers, definitely does come in handy, since grade 0s have pretty big shields for your cards. So just being able to stop that with this stride makes it a definite 4 of in the deck. I have the 4 Kamui Susanoo in the deck. I don't want to run 4. It's just a good first turn stride if I don't really have the means to go into a Globe Magus. But like I said, I would take out 2 of this for 2 more of the Ichikishima and run 4 of that. Just keeping this at 3. I also like it for the GB3, just for that power move you can go for as well, but mostly for the odd hit. Check the top card of your deck and search for another card. It is one of the bigger plays that I do like to do with this card. And I also run 1 Kamui Susanoo. This one is just another power play. It also helps to replenish your hand for cards. The +5 and a critical definitely does come in handy, since mostly we have the grade 3s, which just give you the power drive checks and the plus power, but having just that +5 critical with this unit definitely does help. And then the Counterblast 2 draw until you have 5 cards in your hand just really does help for that replenish if you end up having to use it for heavy guards on turns against your opponent, whether they had units that either restand or just ones that had guard restrictions and you had to use up a specific type of card. This one definitely does help for that replenish. And I also run 2 Wakahirume. This one is just the one that lets you set a card on the top of your deck with the Oracle ability. So when you use Oracle with this card, you're able to place a unit from your hand back on top of your deck after you draw. So you could place a critical or reuse a heal, you name it. This one definitely does help just for reusing those trigger units with your deck. And I also run the 1 GB8, which is Chief Deity of the Heavens, Amaterasu. This one, just more power plus, checking the top cards of your deck for sure. And with all the unflip ones you have, you can easily reach this stride early game as well, along with the G-Guardians that we run. You can go back and forth if you want to run this card or Ultima. That's more of the player preference right there, depending on what they wanted to use. And for the G-Guardians, I run 2 Son of Eternity Amaterasu. We're receiving these and Ichikishima in the Revival Collection, so very helpful there. If you're looking to get these cards, they should be easier to pick up as well. But other than that, for the other G-Guards, I also run 1 Ichibiyoshi and 1 Magus Apex. These ones just help for the additional unflip for the reuse of your cards in your hand, and for this one it's just an easy plus 5k shield that you can use for your other cards. And that is it for the G-Zone. We'll now move on to the main deck. I run 4 Hexagonal Magus. This is just your main grade 3 you go to. Having the quintet drive option with this card definitely does come in handy. And just being able to increase the trigger effects revealed for your drive check by plus 5,000. If you can't go into a stride, this is just a good as powerful unit to go into, but just remember you need that grade 3 Soul Blast to use the quintet drive, so you'll have to set up for some of your other grade 3s with the deck. So the other one I like to go into is Hexagonal Magus. This one, especially because it's a when placed skill. So when placed, you counterblast 1, look at 2 cards from the top of your deck and put them on the top of your deck in any order and draw a card. What's great about it is then you can use this skill when you place it, get your imaginary GIF, and then go right into the stride. So definitely a preferred one to use just with your strides. Then obviously you won't want to stride when you do go into Pentagonal Magus, so just remember that. But like I said, being able to set up those 2 cards on the top of your deck and then draw a card and then go into the stride is your very strong go-to play in the deck with the premium format Magus. And that is it for the grade 3s. Moving on to the grade 2s, I run 4 Rhombus Magus. Didn't really change too much with the grade 2 lineup. I'll show the cards that I did change, but decided to keep 4 Rhombus Magus when it attacks if you have a Vanguard with Magus in its card name until the end of that battle. This unit gets plus 5,000, and if that Vanguard is a grade 3, your opponent cannot intercept. So you limit your opponent with the cards they can use to guard. Hitting this one for also the 14k power definitely does help because you can hit a lot of different units against your opponent as well. So decided to keep her at the 4. Same for Rectangle Magus. This one just helps for the draw power. For a Counterblast and a Soul Blast, you look at 2 cards from the top of your deck, put them on the top of your deck in any order, and draw a card. And when you drive check reveals a trigger unit, this unit gets plus 5,000 till end of turn. Both are rearguard effects, sadly. So for the Vanguard skill, I decided to go with 3 Stellar Magus. This is the original skilled one. This one I might even debate putting Rectangle down to 3 to run 4 Stellar, just for a Vanguard or Rearguard Counterblast 1 when this unit attacks a Vanguard. If you have an Oracle Think Tank Vanguard, you pay the cost. If you do declare an Oracle Think Tank card and reveal the top card of your deck, if the reveal card is the card you declared, you put that card into your hand, and if it's not, choose a card from your damage zone, turn it face up. So you basically can take your Counterblast back with this card, which definitely does help, but being able to search and have that Vanguard skill definitely does come in handy, especially since Rhombus also has a rearguard only skill. So you want something for your grade 2 options, and Stellar really does come through with the original printing of the card and that ability. And that is it for the grade 2s. For the grade 1s, I run 4 Tetra Magus. When placed, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you counterblast 1, draw a card, reveal up to 1 critical trigger from your hand, and put it on the top of your deck. Just more setup with this card, the draw power especially. And for being an 8k power grade 1, you have very strong boosts with some of your other units, especially the ones that get power themselves with the trigger units. So just being able to have the stride, get to the triggers faster with the triple drive, and then just being able to use their other plus skills can really help for the boost with this card. And I also run 4 Ripus Magus. When it boosts, if you have a Vanguard with Magus in its card name, this unit gets plus 5,000 to end of battle. So even with the heart counting as Magus, you'll still get that plus with your strides, putting her at a 13k base, which is one of the main reasons I do like to run this card at 4, just for that easy boost for sure. And I also run 3 Circle Magus. This is just another good ride target option, same as your Stellar, which we talked about. With this one, when you drive check and reveal a grade 2 or greater, you may put that card on the bottom of your deck, and if you do, draw a card. Works on Vanguard or Rear, and when rode upon, you counterblast 1, draw a card. So you have more draw power options when you ride on top of this unit. So just being able to mill through your cards. Just run the 3. I was debating if I wanted to take out 1 of the Ripus and put in a 4th Circle, but I decided to stick to the 3 since most of the time I like this card for the draw option. As long as I have the 1 on Rear, I'm able to sift through those cards I get for my drive check later on. And then lastly, for the grade 1s, I run 3 Divine Sword Amano Murakamo. This one, it's the stride fodder, so just being able to have easy strides. Most of the time, I don't really want to use my Hexagonal Magus for the stride costs. I know we have a new stride coming out that allows for free stride costs, so when that one is released in the summer, I'll definitely be happy and definitely use the United Sanctuary one in this deck to help out, and might change around this number, but until then, definitely 3 of this just to assist with those cards for your stride power. And that's it for the grid ones. For the starter, I decided to go with Semi-Lunar Magus. It has the Forerunner skill, and put this unit into your soul, and when it boosts, if you have a Vanguard with Magus in its card name, declare a card name and reveal the top card of your deck. If the revealed card is a card you declared, you may pay the cost if you do draw 2 cards. So you're just able to build up your soul with this later on, which definitely does help. But the draw 2, I found, definitely comes in more handy than just the ride upon draw 1, giving you that extra rear guard with this unit, and then just having that option to get the draw 2 whenever you need it with the deck. And then for the trigger lineup, I run 4 Oracle Guardian Nike and 4 Psychic Bird. I didn't really find a need to run any of the Magus criticals, just for we have enough power with Globe Magus and just the other cards in the deck to run the lineup the way I wanted. And I also run 4 Weather Forecaster Miss, just the draw trigger perfect guard, to go with the deck for more strength and to keep our grid 1 options open. And lastly, 4 Sphere Magus, just for the generic heal when you don't go for the G-Guard option. If you need that 20k early game, it definitely can come in handy. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Definitely hope you guys enjoy the premium decks. Just kind of waiting it out until the Bermuda set comes out for more standard support. And then come this summer, we'll also have more standard decks in the form of plenty of Kagero, Nova Grappler, Royal Paladin, Link Joker, you name it. But until then, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.